Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation. All you need is the will to do right, do right, do right.
And we're live. Not that you notice, but we are. And it's a beautiful Monday evening. I'm your host, Jay Fry, and with me, as usual, is Sean. How's it going, Sean? And Garrick?
I'm alive. I'm not bankrupt. And I'm not, yeah.
That's a nice twofer.
Not yet. I'm here. So,
So today we are
still here.
Anecdotally. It's a very slow news day, so join the B.A.S.H fan club, which is blonde and some homo. That's wonderful. So we'll be talking about dogs, apparently. Speaking of dogs, Dog the Bounty Hunter is on the case. Dude, I've had one interaction with the guy, and he was a fucking miracle worker in the most embarrassing way to us possible. So I didn't tell you the story of the time I worked with Dog the Bounty Hunter. Okay. So we were on this guy, and he was out on, it was $75K cash or bond. So it's a full replacement, not an and or. $75,000 is what we're liable for. And it's a house, and it's a $300,000 house against it. So they really want to pull it in. So they want to catch this guy. And we're given every opportunity to do so. And there's just nothing. He has gone to ground. We can't find him. No one is willing to give him up. And he has got tons of friends. So last minute, it's a couple days before his court date, they call in this asshole from Colorado. This is before Hawaii at all. This is 2002. So way before the Bounty Hunter and all that bullshit. So he comes in and he lands at the airport. His son, not the one we see, it's a different son. He's got fucking 13 kids. But his oldest son is working with him, and he comes out to meet us and catches the guy on the way to meet us. He was in the fucking airport and had noticed it. The guy had a very particular mole that was like something that was obvious about him. And we had all planned to use that for identification, and he happened to fucking catch it. Paying attention instead of looking to get out of the airport, and he fucking caught the guy. We meet up with Dog, and he's holding the fucking dude.
That's efficient.
Yeah, $25K. Handed him off to us, and went to the boarding place to get the next ticket back to Colorado.
Okay, then.
$25K.
Minus flights.
I didn't even meet everybody who was in his crew. I just only talked to the one other guy, and there wasn't a camera crew with him. But like, people had known of him, and he had quite a timely thing. And he was really better known for being the asshole who can't use guns than anything else.
Okay.
He wasn't like infamous for being the guy who gets the guy no matter what. But he had been putting it out there, and he'd been publicizing himself, and a year or two later, he was Dog the fucking Bounty Hunter.
So how did he catch the guy? I mean, was the guy trying to abscond out through the airport, or what?
Yeah, he was boarding a plane. It literally was a bit of a thing because those people aren't supposed to cross. There's a divider between the two sides.
Right.
And he jumped the divider. But It's Michigan. There is no license to bounty hunt, so he didn't particularly get in trouble for that. And we've got quite a little bit of leeway on. We can kick indoors, basically anywhere. It is a responsibility of the bonded person who got bailed out to alert to that. Like, you literally can't be behind a locked door. Something you sign away in bail.
Okay.
But yeah, he didn't get put on a no-fly list or anything like that. But he broke a fuck ton of airport rules. But anybody who was talking shit about him that particular week couldn't anymore. It was just so freaking ridiculous. And anybody, oh, come on. That was so... The only reason he was there is because he was there. It's yeah, but that's kind of your job to be there. And he was. He won.
Okay.
So,
hey, I got to phone call. I'll be right back.
Yeah, what's his face? He got till tomorrow before Dog finds him, gassing up to go look for him.
Yeah, probably. Didn't he get in trouble for knocking on the parents' door?
Yeah, which is not actually something you can get in trouble for.
Well, it might be bad optics, but he gives a shit.
That's his last known location. You go there.
Right. But the cops have already been there.
He's not a cop. He doesn't work with the cops. The cops have no responsibility to work with him. He literally has to start his own investigation. You start at the last place he was.
Yeah.
So apparently he's got a new wife, and they were in Florida for the wedding, which is nice because it's super dickish to live in Hawaii with no family in Hawaii and get married in Hawaii and make it a destination wedding.
Yeah, that is kind of shitty.
Yeah. It's also shitty to call your daughter and use the N-word on her fiance a whole bunch. But kept them from getting married. So win-win.
I guess.
I call that successful.
I suppose so.
I'm glad Beth wasn't part of the team because I do not like her, and I wouldn't have liked her. And she would have been smug, and I would not have liked that. So I have yet to watch the Sunday show. So is there a reason B.A.S.H is so prominently displayed?
Well, I mean, they ended up talking about B.A.S.H there at the end a little bit, but before that, I thought I had heard him barking in the background, and I had a bit of inspiration about having a B.A.S.H fan club, and then asked Red for the picture. So
I thought that was a ginger paw.
Mm-hmm. So I had to come up with make B.A.S.H an acronym, and that's what I came up with. Didn't give too much thought, but it works. So there it is.
Blonde some homo fan club. All right. So we covered the Petito nonsense. Speaking of, we've had 3 missing women in Michigan, in Tennessee, and 2 of them were recovered already. So congratulations to Knoxville, Knox County, and the local area for finding its missing women. On to you now, Florida. Go gather up and find the dude who's no longer with the missing woman. And did we ever find out if he was in that bullshit area where like there's nobody, so you can't legally be charged with a crime?
No, they were in Utah, so no, they weren't even anywhere near far enough north to do that.
What is that? Is that in Idaho?
Yeah, it's like the part of Yellowstone that bleeds into Idaho, I believe.
Thank you, Margie. Margie remembers that Matt forgets to wish me a happy birthday. It's only been going on now for nearly half a fucking decade.
Yeah, more than half a decade. I felt like shit last night when Blonde, everybody's wishing Blonde a happy birthday. I'm like, shit, did I miss Jay's?
That would have been fitting. I missed yours by half a week.
Yeah.
And I had the wrong month, and I was bragging. I was going to wish you a happy birthday on time. You're like, my birthday was last week. No, that's less than ideal.
Yeah. So this is kind of your birthday stream, I guess, seeing as it's tomorrow and not Wednesday.
Yeah, well, I'm working, so yeah, we're good. If anybody wants to buy me anything, this meetup costs $7.99 a month. So send your checks to Sean's P.O. box.
Yeah, because super chats don't work.
I think you need fans. Speaking of, I got 2 fans this week. Fans. I got 2 subscribers this week.
To what?
My non-active channel.
I got one. I got one this morning.
Nice. Oh, it's the same dude. Hold on. I'm going to find him real quick. It was Nicholas McDonough.
Yep. And that's who liked and subscribed to this channel.
Oh. Weird.
Yeah. So apparently the algorithm fed him one of our shows.
Welcome to the racism. Glad to see you're not black.
Don't know who this dude is, and I haven't watched any of his stuff yet, but apparently he makes music.
I did. It made me wonder if Poet was recommending it, because he's very much a...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Smooth, Steven. Way to be late on the present.
You could FedEx it. You could get it tomorrow.
Oh, no, fuck no. I don't. Let it take its time. It is a really nice gift. It's kind of a fucked up gift in a funny way, but it's a sweet gift. What
They get you a Steely Dan.
Exactly. The torn tasseled shirt. The sweat marks. I'm so excited.
Well, hello there.
Oh, and Kendra Sutherland started following me on TikTok. Apparently, I made a comment on a porn video or something.
I'm not joining TikTok.
Oh, so as I was saying about this, there's people who will repeat anything. This lady was like, I learned that Hunter is Jill Biden's maiden name, and she named her son Hunter. I'm like, no. That's not technically how it works at all. Hunter is not Jill Biden's son.
At all.
Yeah, like not at all. First off, Hunter is the middle name, but Joe Biden's first wife, her name's Nelia or Nelia, something to that matter. Her last name was Hunter, and Hunter Biden is Robert Hunter Biden, and he has his mother's maiden name as his middle name. And oddly enough, his son's name is Beau Biden Jr.
Who's the mother?
Okay, that's a gross question because of the pregnancy involved. But he knocked up the stripper, and I think her name's Moon or something like that. Let's look it up again. Hunter Biden children. Hunter Biden's.
Oh, Jay, before I forget, happy early birthday.
Thank you kindly.
Mm-hmm.
Finnegan Biden, Navy Joan Biden, Maisie Biden, Beau Biden Jr., and Naomi Biden.
Right.
Hunter has been married twice. His first is Catherine. His second is Melissa. He has 5 children. Hunter previously dated. I don't give a fuck.
Well, the reason I have to ask is because if Beau Biden Jr. is the only way I would find that acceptable, and it's still gross, is if that was Hunter's son via Beau's widow.
No.
So then he's not a junior.
Dude, it's Beau Biden Jr.
It can't be. Beau's dead. Hunter isn't Beau. And even if it was Beau's son, it wouldn't be Junior anymore. It's why there's no Robert Downey Jr. anymore. It's just Robert Downey.
Okay, this makes even less sense because Beau Biden, his name isn't even Beau.
No, that was his middle name, wasn't it?
John Robinette Biden III. What the freaky dickiness?
That family is more twisted than any redneck family I've ever heard of. Makes the Duck Dynasty family look fucking pure.
Whoa, what happened with the Duck Dynasty?
Nothing. They're just known to be rednecks, and you would think they would be inbred, even though they're just filthy stinking rich and put on a show. But you would think that it would be the rednecks that were inbred and fucked up. But no, it's the people in our government.
It's the aristocracy. They're trying to keep the bloodlines pure.
Okay, that was Hayley Biden. And Hayley Biden has a 15-year-old son named Robert Biden II. Man, they love this guy, apparently. Everyone in the family has somebody named after this fucking guy who's dead from brain cancer. Poor Finnegan.
Hmm?
Poor Finnegan. Finnegan Biden. So there is a Beau Biden, or there's a Robert Biden II, and a Beau Biden Jr. in his family, and they're not siblings. That's some fucking dumb right there. I'm gonna pass on investigating this family any further before I end up in
Getting red flagged.
yeah.
Put on a list.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little late for that, boys.
What a fucking useless. What else do we have? We have Dave Bautista is on this kick about this fucking abused dog, and he's going to pay $5,000 for any knowledge after he adopted the dog to find out who beat up the dog so he can beat them up. Daniel Craig broke his nose and ran away because he was so scared of a large man. Which makes sense because Dave Bautista's ghetto as fuck. Dude's barely literate. He's like Mr. T with less people working the publicity angle to make him a nicer person. You got a story you want to talk about?
I just wanted to mention, I love how Politico is just now finding out about Hunter Biden's corruption and running stories about it. And the only thing I can think of is that this is timed so that the hubbub starts now, so that in a year's time they can start talking about 25thing him or impeaching him or whatever. Because I'm near positive that the goal is to get Kamala in day one after he's reached half a term, so that there could be a possibility of 10 years of Kamala. I'm pretty sure that's the plan.
They need that for the Biden, or for the 5 terms of Barack Obama. Anderson Cooper doesn't plan to leave son Wyatt an inheritance. College will be paid for. That's shitty.
Well, did he get any Vanderbilt money?
Yeah.
Did he?
Even if he didn't, he did.
Well, I mean, he had the advantages of being a Vanderbilt, but I'm just wondering if he got any direct Vanderbilt money.
Now you got me wondering, what were the 3? It's Rockefeller, Vanderbilt, and Carnegie? That's the 3?
Morgan?
J.P. Morgan.
They count as barons?
If you don't think J.P. Morgan was a baron,
I just don't know.
Money
it's not that I don't think they are. I just don't know.
Rockefeller, Carnegie was, but Carnegie was like the only one that was even somewhat good. Like all the rest.
Carnegie was more of a donator than a robber baron.
Yeah, he did a lot of philanthropy from jump. Still stupid ass rich. Don't get me wrong. So he was playing
built that richness though.
He did, but he was playing in that club. Technically, Rockefeller built his wealth too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But more people benefited from Carnegie.
Yeah, more random people benefited from Carnegie. Did a lot of public
Rockefeller
works.
benefited from Rockefeller.
Yes.
It's like Edison would be a name up there with them, but Edison screwed over everybody, including Edison. But don't worry, he got Tesla too. Fuck that guy. He would have been a bigger name if he wasn't too busy with his bird.
Yeah, well, when you're a genius, kook happens.
Yeah.
I keep trying to explain it to people, but they just like pull your pants up. So whatever. Fuck. Like, you just don't understand how smart I am. Stop poking me with that. Go away. It's like, you don't understand. I'm competing with Chris Cuomo. That whole family is a bunch of freaking dumbasses. Like, someone needs to let them know they are not the Clintons. They are not powerful enough to get away with it. You have to own the state before you expect the state to cover your ass. You know, once you buy the Democrat Party, then you can molest the Democrat Party.
Well,
you got to own it
I would
first.
think that their dad probably did, but now he's not really in the picture.
No, Mario was just California, New York based. He tried his bullshit. It got shot down. He did three. He had 3 terms, right?
I'm pretty sure he had 3.
I gotta look it up.
He was like New York's Jones. Who was the guy in California? There was Brown. Brown, Jerry Brown.
Oh yeah.
He was that for New York.
Okay. But who's this Kamala?
That's Willie Brown. A different person.
Yeah, Willie Brown was just the mayor of San Francisco at the time that he started doinking Kamala. And then he went on to be a representative, and she got to be state AG somehow.
I mean,
3
somehow.
terms, yeah.
We all know how that happened.
Yeah, he was the Secretary of State in New York, 75 to 78, 79 to 82. He was Lieutenant Governor, 83 to 94. Did such a banging job that they voted in a Republican after him.
Makes you wonder what'll happen next time.
Well, you have to be a very certain Republican.
I mean, can we really call Schwarzenegger a Republican?
Not that one.
Which one?
That one too, actually.
Yeah.
But I was talking about the Republicans with the tiny hats and the Giuliani's is the last name. Who, by the way, not Jewish. Just,
wait a minute. Bloomberg was a Republican when he was mayor.
Yeah, after Giuliani.
Mm-hmm.
But he is a member of the Tiny Hat Squad.
Giuliani isn't.
Giuliani is not, but he had all the backing of the Tiny Hat people.
Meh. If it works.
Margie says, I'm automatically suspicious of women that don't have kids. Kamala is broken. Yeah. She's got she has 2 kids. Wink, wink. Like, those are her husband's kids. And he is both Jewish and remarried.
Hey, it served the purpose.
Yeah. Well, same thing with Jill. I don't think Joe Biden has any kids. I'll check it out. Jill Biden kids.
I just find it interesting her ex-husband's reaction to anything regarding Joe.
Oh, Ashley Biden. So she has 1 kid.
Which one?
Ashley Biden. Who is so messed up, she's a social worker.
Oof.
Well, if you're a Democrat and connected, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's only a bad thing if that's what you achieved on your own.
I started out I was going to be a psychologist when I got to U of M, and then I met the people who also wanted to be psychologists, and I said, you know what, you guys can have crazy.
It's interesting. I went into college as pre-psych or psych major and took just enough courses to learn that they've never fixed anybody and they're full of shit. So I quit.
Same here.
The daughter Joe molested in the shower? Wasn't it the dog he molested in the shower?
No, the dog molested him out of the shower, because that's what you do when you get out of the shower, is you pet a German Shepherd in the spring. That's absolutely something you do. You don't avoid German Shepherds in the spring at all when you're wet. That's a joke. German Shepherds are notoriously shitty in the spring.
Yes, they are.
But yeah, you don't touch them. Especially when wet.
Well,
and they know better than to get near you.
Joe has never been bright.
Well, that's why he broke his foot.
Mm-hmm. Sure, that's why.
Damn, we did not have nothing to talk about.
Not really. Not along the lines of news, because it's been a slow news day. I mean, the border thing is the border thing, except for you got Mayorkas in front of Congress getting grilled with no answers, which I'm getting real fucking tired of. Nobody seems to have any answers for Congress when they're posed a direct question, and it's getting real old real fucking fast.
Margie says he's got a shower fetish. I think he's got a water fetish, because there's stories of him that didn't get circulated well about him swimming naked at the Naval Reserve when he was VP, and taking a lot of pool laps around a lot of his female Secret Service agents, and that being an issue. Well, fuck, we don't have anything to talk about. I might as well just go over the fucking movies I watched this week. I was able to introduce Steven to the wonderful world of Andy Sudeikis films. Sedaris. I keep saying Sudeikis. It's Jason Sudeikis. Andy Sedaris films.
Such as?
The boobs, bullets, and banded, or the boobs, bullets, and bombs. It's Hard Ticket to Hawaii, Malibu Express, Guns, Day of the Warrior, just a bunch of fucking cheese. Mid to late 80s to early 90s, up into the 2000s. Gunny, like what? Unfortunately, Michael Bay is known for, but done at a more campy level of awesomeness. So it either starring a bevy of playmates or penthouse pets. And,
okay.
The first one was playmates, and after that it was penthouse pets. So the roundest boobs possible.
Excellent.
Yeah. So very, very enjoyable films. For being just awful. Like the Lethal series, it's hold on, I gotta look up what the Lethals means. Lethal Ladies. Yeah, just explain to me what lethal means, you fucktards. Bullets, bombs, and babes, or bullets, bombs, and boobs. Yeah. Just give us the lethal. Turn to Savage Beach, Marcus Bagwell, Lethal Ladies, Triple B's, Lethal Ladies, or Choose to London. Just give me the freaking. Really, you're not going to tell me what lethal stands for?
Is it an acronym?
It is an acronym, it's like a congressional acronym, so it doesn't really help. The Legion to ensure total harmony and law.
Okay.
One of the guns that's always visible is an 8-inch barrel 357 Magnum, and like a Raven PM25 or MP25, nickel plated, both of them. Beretta Jetfire, which is what Steven's Taurus is a clone of.
Wait, the Jetfire, that's the 32 ACP?
Is it 32? It's 25, I think.
Ooh.
It's 25 ACP. Steven's is 22.
Oh, okay.
Oddball sizes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the girls carries around a Tech 9 in 22. So it looks more like a Scorpion than anything.
Looks like a squirt gun.
Yeah. The Blast Tech E11 Blazer or Blaster is another one, just because it's fucking stupid looking. And they had this customized Armalite AR7 where they do you guys know what I'm talking about, the AR7?
Sure, why not?
It's a 22 that the barrel is one part and it screws into the action. The action's is another part, and they all go into the butt of the gun, which is also a flotation device. It was made for pilots.
It's kind of the Henry survival rifle kind of ripped off of it, right?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
not ripped off of it. It's so old that it was. They were able to start remanufacturing it as the Henry. And they made it floating because it was just the butt used to have an air pocket in it, but the Henry rifle is sealed and floats all its own. Anyway, they took off the butt of it and put on like an AR-15 kind of stock. Just absolute hilariousness. Exploding crossbows, spear guns with red tips. They had a thing for using remote-controlled vehicles. So if it was like if they're on the water, it would be a boat with a couple of tubes that were red for explosions. Or prior to drones, it was literally a helicopter with a bundle of cardboard red tubes for explosions. One of them actually had missiles on them. Oh, they were so stupid. He doesn't remember what they were. But it's really cute for what it was, because it was a lot of girls with boobs who did fun and exciting things.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
So highly enjoyable. I got the home to watch them, so that was hilarious. For some reason, they're in the Full Moon package, even though Malibu Bay Films is not part of Full Moon or Moonbeam. You guys see anything good?
I started watching The Orville.
Any good?
Surprisingly, yeah. It's
Damn it.
pretty good. I was expecting woke garbage, and it is decidedly not that. I'm beginning to think that Seth MacFarland isn't what he puts out on Twitter.
Oh, that's clear from Family Guy.
Well, I mean, that, and I mean, if you remember, he had an episode of Family Guy where he had Rush Limbaugh on. But I'm thinking that he's playing the Hollywood game and doesn't have the clout that somebody like Clint Eastwood has, where he knows he could continue working despite it. But he might be a bog standard centrist, which would be enough to get him ostracized in Hollywood.
Oh, for
I
sure.
can see that. He did a significant amount of outing on Family Guy.
And,
I mean, he also outed Richard Gere for having a gerbil up his butt, but that was known like a decade before Family Guy, or
Right,
it was passed around anyway.
yeah, that went around in the late 80s.
Yeah,
It
was known. It's known that he sits on gerbils. Who doesn't know that?
That's not a new thing. Not breaking any ground there, but yeah, I think he might just be a bog standard centrist, which is fine. I mean, I'm okay with that. I appreciate that he had Rush Limbaugh on. That was bold, especially in Hollywood. But when watching The Orville, he doesn't shy away from sensitive, topical topics. And he handles them in a decidedly unwoke manner.
Is he stupid?
Not entirely.
I hate that even worse than being stupid.
No. I mean, his character on the show is, well, his actions show him as being above average. So there's that. I mean, he is a hero, so there's that aspect to it. But he's not necessarily a dumbass, but he's not anything. He's not like Saint Picard or Space Jesus Sisko or Saint Janeway or anything like that. So, which is refreshing. It's nice to see a captain that's just a captain that's doing what he can with what he has. So I appreciate that angle. It's
that was
pretty
Kirk,
good,
though. Kirk was doing what he had with what he had, and that was a penis.
kind of, except that Kirk did beat the Kobayashi Maru.
He cheated.
Exactly, but he beat it. So
penis.
Kurt was kind of special in that regard.
Did you say Kurt?
Kirk.
Like you said Kurt.
Kirk. Kirk. I might have said Kurt, but it's Kirk. But yeah, I mean, he's more like a Captain Kirk, but he's a little more average than Captain Kirk.
Average looking.
Yeah, that too. But I mean, the premise is that literally it opens with him walking in on his wife cheating on him, and then the plot kind of goes from there. And it's endearing because that's exactly what most guys would do in that situation. They're just like, yeah, I'm out. And they leave, and he leaves. He wasn't, there was nothing other than the stunned, holy shit. And then he leaves, and that's the right answer. But, he ends up getting a promotion. It plots later, but they don't make a big deal of it. But, he gets command of a middling ship. It's not even a leading edge starship. It's not a major explorer or anything like that. It's just a mid-level, mid-grade ship for the proxy of the Federation that they have, called the Union.
Does it show the wife or the cheater?
Oh yeah. She ends up being his second in command.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
No, it's good. It's good because he is constantly making snide remarks about how she cheated on him, like the entire time.
Did she cheat with somebody of a higher station?
No.
Yeah.
But it's actually I'm like 7 or 8 episodes in, and it's surprisingly good. It is a better successor to the Star Trek branding and ideal than anything that Paramount has put out in the last 2 decades.
What's it on?
Fox, but you can watch it on Hulu.
Eh. I have Hulu. I just don't care for Hulu.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Hulu either, but we have it, so I'm watching it there. And it's no commercials, which is nice.
The show or your Hulu?
Hulu, no commercials.
So you're paying for the extra Hulu.
Apparently we are.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why the wife is doing that, but she is.
I fucking hate commercials now.
Oh, I despise them.
Yeah. I won't even watch something not on my own YouTube channel. Or my YouTube account. Because of it.
Why don't you get an ad block?
Because ad block only works like 60% of the time. Like they started doing like mid-roll commercials.
My ad block works unless it's a built-in, baked-in commercial during the stream, like that the creator made.
Commercial.
Yeah, if the creator made it, it plays because it's part of the actual raw video. But if I get no interruption commercials from YouTube with my ad block. I get no pre-roll, I get no post-roll, and nothing that interrupts the flow. So unless the creator did it, and I'm willing to tolerate those because I'm watching what they're making, so they get to do that. YouTube doesn't, is the way I justify that. I still fast forward through them, though. But that counts as a play, so screw them.
Well, Jay, what ad blocker are you using?
Oh, I don't anymore. I'm on a family plan with the Bunster.
Oh, okay.
But it was.
I would say, like, for general like browsing and stuff, I would say go with the Brave browser because I've been using it for a while now, and I fucking love it.
I'm gonna punch you in the face so hard. You use Google Chrome when you're on a Hangout because it's through Google.
Well, I mean, still in Brave though.
I just use Google.
Marge just called herself a Bonner ass. She's so close to being a Bonner ass that she can't figure out how to put ad blocker on her tablet.
I will say it's definitely harder to get
Boomer.
ad block on a tablet or a phone.
Mm.
And the ones that I've managed to even get onto my phone do not work as well as the one on the computer.
No, my my ad blocker, which was called ad blocker, was a Chrome extension, and it worked on Chrome.
That's what my AdBlock Plus is.
Yeah, that's what it was. AdBlock Plus.
Yeah, it works fine in Chrome.
Mm-hmm.
Which
Silly Toy said, "Would any of you hook up with an ex?"
I was just thinking about that. No.
I don't know Sean's exes.
They live in Texas.
That's weirdly true.
My exes live in Texas. That's why I hang my hat in Tennessee. Actually, one's in Alabama.
I actually have 2 exes in Texas.
Wow, I didn't even plan to get that right, but I did.
I have.
Damn, I'm good.
I have 2 exes.
Damn, I'm good. Yeah, I like Sarah, but I think I'm doing good where I'm at now. Thank you.
I didn't even like Sarah. So.
Well, she doesn't like you either, so it's mutual.
Yeah.
For the record, I liked Sarah.
She reveled in her self-imposed ignorance that she learned in college.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not and do not care for her. Even though the world around her shows her a different idea, she just thinks the world's wrong. So that's a Marge, I would like to say purely sexual, but we had a great relationship. So we're just hooking up, though, Sally. So, I've never had like a bad breakup. Like no one's ever cheated on me because I throw down the dick. But just kidding. One went lesbian, so I must have been doing something wrong.
Throwing down the
I
dick.
did actually have a girlfriend who broke up with me to date a girl. Well, we broke up, and her next date was a girl. And I tried to figure out why this chick was giving me like a shitty look when I was talking to her. I'm like, does this chick want to fight me? She's like, oh, that's just my girlfriend. I'm like, that chick is very manly. Very weird. Steven says all his exes are in Texas. That's just the ones he dates. There's dudes all over the Midwest, though, just throwing the dick around. Fucking perverts.
I don't know. Would I hook up with an ex? I guess it depends on which one. There are probably 2 or 3 that I would. I'm not now, but would have when I was single.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if I were single and my current fiance is not an option, yeah, I guess I would.
Some of them are fun. Man, I enjoyed them at the time. Again, all amicable breakups, but that was the past. We're not who we were back then. So I'm gonna go no. But
yeah, I don't think
Garrett's exes are too young for me.
So well, and again, what do you mean hook up? Would you just have sex with an ex? Yeah, probably. Would I seek out a relationship with an ex? No, they're an ex for a reason.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I don't know. There's a girl that beat me up in 5th grade and made me date her for a week because I lost the fight. I might give her a go.
I mean, that's a weird predicament to be in.
Well, it's 5th grade.
Would you intentionally throw a fight to get with a chick? I guess it depends on the chick.
It was 5th grade. They're bigger than you in 5th grade. You can't punch a girl, so it really doesn't help you.
Yeah, even the 5th grade, you can't do that. Source, I have a 5th grader.
There's cooties going around still at that point. Yeah, she expected me to be really, really more beat up when she broke up with me to date somebody else because she didn't have to beat him up. I was like, fine. I wasn't really dating you anyway.
5th grade? I did ask a girl out in 5th grade and got my heart crushed, so...
Oh, so young.
I didn't ask a girl out, and I got my ass kicked.
Still went out with her.
Yeah, because I didn't want to get my ass kicked again. What's funny is I'm now a foot taller than her. Well, I was a decade ago.
It was another
I
2
used to be a
years
lot
before.
taller.
It was another 2 years before I actually started noticing girls for being girls.
We had a weird thing in my junior high where the girls with the big boobs were sluts for having big boobs. Like, oh, she flew around with a lot of guys? No, but she's got those boobs. My God. So that's it? That's why she's a slut? She has boobs? I'm hoping she's a slut because I want to play with them now. Turns out, only one of them were, but it was a lot of fun.
I was a couple of months ago, went to the Circle K and ran into, honest to God, like 80s level sluts. Like late 80s, early 90s sluts. I was like, God love you, ladies. Thank you for being that. It's been a long time since we've seen that.
There was a 2005 level slut that was kind of weird that I really didn't understand. And it was like right after I got out of high school. I was out of high school. The next group had gone out of high school, and now they're talking about this thing where at parties, girls will wear bracelets, color-coded bracelets to signify what they're willing to do at that party. I'm like, what? That's new to me because I used to have to get locked in a closet for 10 minutes before we'd find out what a girl would do with you. But I was watching the news. Like I was fresh out of college, and you find out that, and I'm like, this can't be true. So I'm talking to like the local kids, and they're like, I've never heard of it. I'm like, I didn't think so, but apparently the news is talking about these sluts. But and they went into detail in the news about the colored bracelets, and I'm like, does brown mean anal? I'm just curious here. Is pink for vagina? Like how much memorizing has to be done here before you know what's what? Is it with anybody, or do you have to be wearing a special bracelet of your own?
Well, much like everything else, be attractive, don't be unattractive.
Yeah.
That's how that works. I mean, Saturday Night Live nailed that a decade ago.
Give or take. I mean, there was they played some bullshit with that. Chris Farley and Patrick Swayze, Chippendales dancers, the open spot.
Right, but yeah, they were just playing around with it. But I mean, that's where they nailed it on the head with Tom Brady, where they had the sexual harassment and you spot, where the nerdy guy whose name I can never remember played an office creeper and never got anywhere with the ladies because he wasn't attractive, while Tom Brady was doing even worse, overtly harassment level stuff, and the girls liked it because he was attractive.
How long ago are we talking?
Mid 2000s, I believe.
I was just wondering if it was like a Chris Kattan or like
It was a guy who looks like Chris Kattan but isn't Chris Kattan.
Oh, that other guy.
Yeah. I can't
The
ever
untalented
remember his
Chris
name
Kattan.
because he's not that funny. He did a half decent Obama impersonation, so it might have even been during the Obama years.
Fred
Something?
Fred Arnston?
Arminston? Fred Arminston? I don't know. Anyway, just Google sexual harassment in USNL.
Samsonite.
Huh?
Shut up.
Samsonite.
That's a terrible reference. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
I was way off.
He was in Portlandia, right?
I have no idea. I never watched that.
Well, I'm freaking Googling Portlandia to get his name. Fred Armisen. 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 Oh, Kyle MacLachlan was the mayor. That's pretty funny. I watched a movie called Toxic Shock, and it had Kevin Sorbo as the mayor, and he was panelist for most of it. I found him to be absolutely hilarious. I'm more of a fan of the dim-witted. Nana Cooley, Suffield family in Vancouver. Okay. Yeah, the rainbow bracelets were the. Apparently, it wasn't happening at my school, but there was sluts somewhere in the area.
Well, and then I remember there were stories after I got out of college and high school where there were supposedly rainbow parties where girls would wear different colored lipstick and go down on a guy. Different girls going down on the guy and leaving their rings on the guy. And I'm like, wow, I really missed out. Because I'd like to try that. That sounds like an okay time.
It really wasn't.
We know, Stephen. We know.
No one didn't know that, Stephen. Despite what Bunny says. Well, we got 1 hour down. Covered rainbow parties and.
Oh, but back to what I was saying about the Orville. Despite it being surprisingly good and well done, at least so far, like I said, I'm 8 episodes in, it could go to shit. I have no idea. I'm happy that it's unwoke, but more importantly, I noticed that much like almost all pop media recently, they have episodes concerning timeline purity. And that got my noggin a-jogging. Why do so many entertainment references in pop culture focus on timeline purity?
Well, it's probably a joke because of all the shenanigans within the Trek-verse of timeline impurity. I seem to remember a movie in which they went back and saved 2 humpback whales.
Yeah. And time travel is going to be one of those sci-fi topics that's always topical for sci-fi, which is fine. But beyond just having time travel episodes, the focus is on maintaining timeline purity, which is Marvel's thing right now. Was a thing in the Orville. It was a thing in second generation Star Trek. Why is there so much focus on maintaining a pure timeline?
Well, what is? Are you talking about from fake news or?
Well, just.
Have you watched Loki yet?
Yeah, I watched Loki. Which is why I was referencing Marvel, because that's not only was Loki about that directly, but Endgame was about that, and apparently Spider-Man and the new Doctor Strange movie are going to be all about that as well.
Well, it looks like it's actually opposite of that for Spider-Man. They're fucking with everyone's memories.
Which, going back, we've often discussed Mandela effect stuff. Is it a thing because it's actually a thing and it's just the pop culture references to it where nobody knows what's going on but everybody recognizes something is going on? This is kind of heavy tinfoil even for me, but it's got my noggin a-jogging.
Yeah. Well, Steve and I were talking the other day about the modern era inside of movies and how they're almost universally shit. Well, I was specifically referencing it. I enjoy the movie Sneakers, but as far as the the hacking capabilities of the time. It was shit.
Mm-hmm.
Hackers is another one that is equally shitty.
Yeah.
Even though I highly enjoyed the movie and I love the cast. That's another one. Like anything too modern in a movie just sucks. Now the super future, those are give or take, because you can have it both ways. But anything that is relatively current, because it's not. It's either they have to jump 5 years in the future, which they get wrong almost universally, or they just shit the bed. Like they joke about Demolition Man, and it was campy with Back to the Future, which is again supposed to be in the future, even though it's a couple years ago now, and we saw none of that.
Still waiting on my hoverboard.
Still waiting. Still waiting for Jaws 14 and Rocky 37, but those haven't come out yet. But they White Noise. I kind of more enjoy movies like what's the one with the sexually transmitted demon? It Follows. Or I hate to say it, but the original Jeepers Creepers. How you couldn't particularly tell the year. There was minimal focus on Gary's cell phone, and all the cars were from the 60s. But anything that's particularly up to date, like a Lawnmower Man or things like that, a Gamer, those kind of games just suck. So you end up getting something either great, like a Ready Player One or Ender's Game, or Minority Report or Total Recall, or you get something absolute shit like
Everything else.
Everything else. So I can't think of one that's really centrally focused on technology that isn't one and or the other. Talk shit about Sinister. I don't even remember which one Sinister is. Is that the Ethan Hawke one or the?
Well, what's interesting is The Matrix, when it was new, was amazing. And even now, it's still a cultural touchstone. So much so that they're apparently remaking it for release this Christmas.
No, it's Matrix 4. It's not a remake.
Looks exactly like it follows the plot of the first movie. Which,
It's Matrix 4.
Given the crap that 2 and 3 were, that might be an improvement. I don't know. But
I like 2.
2 is tolerable. I didn't like it, but it wasn't complete shit. 3 was complete shit. 3 doesn't exist. But I don't know. Was that the last new thing that came out of Hollywood? I'm trying to think what else might have been new that... Well, Minority Report, I guess. There really hasn't been any mind-blowing, groundbreaking movies that's come out of Hollywood in the last 20 years.
That's the one where he's a crime writer, right? Or something like that, like a journalist turned novel writer. Steven Sinister. I don't remember shit about that movie. I think it was a Blumhouse, and it had a Bagul scare, so I didn't give a shit about it. I tend to forget anything that has a... I think Sinister is the origin of the Bagul, and I don't give a fuck about it. Like, how are you on a videotape, or not videotape, a film, on film, and scaring somebody in an audience? What the fuck is that about? Plus, I don't like Ethan Hawke.
Margie, that's not pulling anything up in the Google machine, so I'm not sure what your husband is talking about.
I don't think AIEA.
I mean, there's a Ford dealer in Aiea, Hawaii, but that's about it.
Is it a cutter Ford deal?
Well, I closed the search because it wasn't coming up with anything I found relevant, so I don't know.
I wasn't talking about. I wasn't talking about the Bagul the person. I was talking about Bagul the Bagul scare.
Yeah, so it was an ad for the Ford dealership in Aiea. Okay. That was random as hell.
Mandatory Carry came out with B.A.S.H. Yeah, it's a blonde and some homo. It's a fan club for dogs. I don't like Ethan Hawke. In anything but that one cowboy movie he was in, where he plays a coward. Was it the new? I think it was New Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, that's what it was. He played the guy from New Orleans.
played the Lazan. Yeah, Hollywood has the habit of just not with reality, which is fine in a way, but if you're making Amityville Horror based on true events, it needs to be relatively true. Can't have cars flying around bashing through buildings and both the buildings and the cars heal themselves. I think that pool cue has enough chalk on it now.
Yeah, strike true. That's a mag light that I was seeing if there was any batteries in. There is not.
You couldn't tell by weight? Was it a mini mag?
No, it's full size.
Good lord. My full size is 4 C cells. You know, just picking it up whether it's got batteries in it.
This is an old one, so it's heavy regardless. And it's so old it's got an incandescent bulb in it, so.
You know they make the new LED bulbs for them to fit in the old ones, right?
I did not, but I should probably get some because that would be way better, and the batteries would last a hell of a lot longer.
This is true.
Mine, my thing's it's 19 inches long. and I carry it in a nightstick holder.
Yeah.
Because it has a nightstick handle on it.
Yeah, this one is not that big. This is just the 12-inch.
Aftermarket.
You could definitely beat somebody with this, but not as effectively as the 19-inch.
Yeah. But it's also it's heavy as shit. But with the nightstick protrusion, it's just oddly easier to hold that way. You can't turn the light off particularly fast, but
no, it would make it easier to hold. Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of movies that don't hold up. A lot of movies that, well, Spawn doesn't even hold up anymore, and it's still a good story. It's just that the effects don't hold up.
Yeah,
that was a couple of different reasons for that.
And Lawnmower Man aged out fast. That was too heavy with what was at the time eye candy, but man, does it hurt now.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurt like 5 years after even, and that was 15, 20 years ago now.
What did I watched a movie the other day that was... Oh, it was Full Moon. It was The Dead Hate the Living. And it was like 97% practical effects. But at one point, this guy lights a bottle of Jack Daniels on fire that he treated kind of like a Molotov, but he like sprinkled it around the floor. And these zombies went up, like infiltrated from this Jack Daniels, and it was some of the worst CGI flames. Like, I could buy better CGI flames on Adobe.
And so it's Birdemic level?
Yeah, it really was. For, like, surprisingly good... well, I mean, it's zombies, so it's not like it's hard or anything like that. To have decent makeup with latex, and it had the guy who used to be like the world's tallest dude, but he's all fucked up looking for bone growth. So he's not like, he's large, but he's not even remotely scary because he moves at such a slow pace. Like, no way could this guy be on the basketball team. I'm gonna look him up real quick. The Dead. Well, anyways, the worst part is that the character who played the doctor, his name was Dr. something. I can't think of his name here.
It was Dr. Ted.
Hi, everybody. Dr. Ebon. Hi, everybody. That's Dr. Bill. No. Matthew McGregor. Matthew McGregor was... Wait for it.
Ewan's brother?
No. This guy's a giant. But he's a big dude, and he died in 2005. But he was in House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects, Carl the Giant, and Big Fish. He was 7'6" with a 29.5 shoe size.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a large dude. But he has that ear that's kicked out to the side, and his head's permanently bent at an angle, and it grows. He's got like the skeletal thing.
Right.
Anyways, just a very slow, very plodding man. So you're like, Jesus, that guy's He's big, but he's fucking slow as shit. He's not like anybody you would see on a basketball court. Even though he would definitely be pretty good if you could get a ball into his hand right above the basket. But so they used him and a bodybuilder were like the two main zombies, and the makeup was fairly good. Like the muscular guy had his face torn off in the middle, so it looked like he didn't have a nose, and it did a pretty good job of it. So I was happy with the makeup until like the last couple minutes of the movie when they bring in Microsoft Paint levels of flame. I'm like, oh, I would have just skipped it. You didn't even need to know how bad it was. Like, that was so much worse than not setting them on fire. You could have just turned on a light in the room and claimed that was the flame.
Right.
And it would have been better. But yeah, so, you know, like they miss it on occasion. But not necessarily doesn't hold up because it's pretty damn good. The Frighteners, even with that stupid painting thing, you know, where there's like a ghost in the house that possesses like the wallpaper or something, and it attacks somebody through a painting, and the painting's like latex instead of an actual canvas paint.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was stupid, but still, that's pretty good effects. And just the color differentials for like the ghosts was mildly cute. But like, there are people with holes in them. John Anston in playing the judge, he was visually good. But I had to explain to Steven how what the movies make bullet holes of what you would think a bullet hole would look like if you've never seen a bullet hole, which is very different than a bullet hole actually seeing one. Like, a head deflates when it's shot because it blows out the back half and it loses its structural integrity. Because Matt had a head wound on, that he got from a makeup artist a couple weekends prior. But that was just atrocious the way they, for such a strong effects or hands-on effects driven to shit the bed with that CGI was it hurt me dearly. Hey.
Yeah, but then you look at something like Tron, which technologically was impressive at the time and hard to do, especially with render times back then. But it holds up. And holds up fairly well, surprisingly. But then you get something like Spawn 15, 20 years later that is got a bigger budget, I guess you could say. And
Spawn had a way bigger budget.
Yeah, but even like, not only did it have a bigger budget, but it had like even adjusted dollars, it had a bigger budget. And the CGI doesn't hold up. Story's still good, the movie's still good, but the CGI does not hold.
Well, Spawn had like a $40 million budget. I can't imagine Tron had a $40 million budget.
Well, not in 81 or 82 when it was built. No, when it was made. But the work that had to go into the CGI in Tron.
17 million and in 82. Pretty close, actually.
Yeah. I would imagine that would, if you inflated that to whenever Spawn was that 96? 97? you adjusted for those dollars, Tron's budget would probably be equivalent to like 30, 35 mil. So it was still lower, but not hugely so. But the effort that you had to put into the effects in Tron were greater.
Well, I think after Jean-Luc Leguizamo, his payday, then you would get closer to 35 million.
Fucking should have paid Michael Jai White more, I could tell you that.
No, fuck Michael Jai White. 1997. You kissed my ass in 1997.
It was his first movie.
No, it wasn't.
Well, first starring role. Pretty sure that's his first starring role.
That's a possibility. I mean, no.
What else was he in that he was a star?
He played Mike Tyson in Mike Tyson. Or Tyson.
That was after Spawn, though, wasn't it?
No, that had to be before Spawn.
Yeah, let's look it up.
All right, you look that up. I'll look up Spawn. Spawn is 1997. Tyson is 1995. I was right.
Oh, okay.
But he was also he was in Universal Soldier.
Right, but that's not a starring role.
I'm just saying he's got some things behind him. But apparently he was in Kill Bill Volume 1. I don't remember him.
He was probably heavily prosthetics.
In Kill Bill?
Who did he play in Kill Bill?
That's what I'm saying. Kill Bill Volume 1. Apparently he was in Toxic Avenger Part 2.
All right, mad props for that.
I do not like Lloyd Kaufman.
Where's cast?
He was an Apocalypse Inc. executive. How about that?
He is not even on the front page of top cast, so he had to be
3,
a
6,
bit
9.
better.
He was number 10 out of 12.
All cast and crew. Let's see here.
Oh, he's in Chocolate City, Vegas. Strip. So that's got to be pretty nice for him.
I don't even see him in the list.
He's in Assault on Virginia 33, whatever the fuck that is.
Is it Volume 1 or Volume 2 that he was in?
Toxic Avenger Part 2.
No. Kill Bill.
Oh, Volume 1? I thought it's...
He's not in this cast list in Volume 1.
Kill Bill Volume 1.
He is not in the cast list.
Let's see. It's not a huge cast, so... Show more. I don't remember Samuel L. Jackson as Rufus either.
Julie Dreyfus? Michael Parks, Michael Bowen. No
Jesus, Michael Parks was young once. That's crazy.
Believe it or not.
Was he in like the shoot 'em up scene maybe? Let's see. Okay, I'm on IMDb.
Yeah, he's not in the cast list on IMDb of Volume 1.
All right, guys, I gotta go to bed. Y'all take it easy.
Hold on, we're solving a mystery here. You can wait.
Oh, really?
And we'd get away with it too if it weren't for you damn kids.
He's not even an uncredited. So that's weird. You want to make sure he's in Mike Tyson before we go any further?
Kill Bill Volume 2. Let me see if he's in this one.
Maybe he was like the boyfriend in Vivica Fox's Picture.
He's not showing up in the major cast of this, too, and you'd think he would because he's a major guy. Michael Bowen. He's not in Volume 2 either.
Hold on. I'm looking up stunts.
Samuel L. Jackson's in it as Rufus.
Hey, Gary Fry's in this. That's stunts. It's my brother. He's not.
Yeah, he's not in this at all. All right. Results show that is a lie.
Yeah, I'm gonna just fucking Google Michael J. White. Kill Bill Volume 1. You still with us, Garrick?
He is not. He promptly left.
That son of a bitch.
His woman probably summoned him to bed. Don't give him too much shit. He was probably bored stupid anyhow. Well, I mean, he was born stupid, but we're not going to hold that against him.
Deleted scene. I'm disappointed Michael J. White didn't show up in the final cut of Kill Bill. A peek at deleted scene shows up at 42 seconds. So.
Which is why he doesn't get a credit. Okay, that's fair. Fair.
He should still get a credit on IMDb.
Not if it's not in the publication of the actual piece of art.
I would have liked to have gotten a credit. Oh. You know what? I think I saw this somewhere. He's a kung fu guy.
If they remade The Last Dragon,
He's way too big.
I want him to be the adult Bruce Leroy.
Nice. Oh. He fights Bill. He would fuck up David Carradine before David Carradine fucked himself up. The only one who could fuck up David Carradine was David Carradine.
I'm pretty sure that the autoerotic asphyxiation bullshit is Dennis Quaid's no. Which Quaid?
Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid's Star Whackers. Pretty sure that's what they do. Pretty sure Robin. I'm pretty sure it's not suicide. I'm pretty sure they're out there killing these folks for whatever reason, but that's what they make it look like. I'm pretty sure that's what got Anthony Bourdain. I'm pretty sure that's what got Robin Williams. Pretty sure that's what got David Carradine and the guy from NXS.
I can't imagine that being them taking out David Carradine for any reason. Damn, that was 12 years ago. 2009. Technically, Michael J. White was not in Kill Bill, though he did shoot a scene of, for some reason, him kung fuing against Bill in a scene that Bill wasn't fucking in. I guess it was another storyline for Kill Bill Volume 3, in which he was a badass and actually fought people. Because Bill didn't actually do shit for the most part in any of those movies.
No, it was just like the mob boss. He was like Kingpin, right?
No, Bill was like, from the ground up, a badass. He went all over Asia, becoming this fucking badass who then got badass followers and then fell in love with the bride who fuck was her name?
Uma Thurman.
Bonnie? Fuck was her name? Helen? Anyways, whatever her name was. He created these little occulty things that I wouldn't be surprised, man. Like we're finding out like the newest Pussycat doll, the one that joined the crew, to find out that they were just whores to billionaires in Europe.
Kaya Jones?
Yeah. And Alanis Morissette coming out and saying that when she was underage and doing Canadian Disney World, whatever the fuck that was, she was getting dicked by the record execs like crazy. What was wrong with Robin Williams?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's full of crap.
I don't remember Robin Williams having some.
Steven with the save.
Thank you, Steven.
Steven with the obscure save.
But I could see it from both ways. But finding out about like these, even if it wasn't violent sex, it was still statutory rape of a 15-year-old who was trying to get a career. Same can be said about plenty of kids in and out of Hollywood and movies and records. And Aaliyah married R. Kelly when she was like 15 or something. Speaking of, R. Kelly just got sentenced to racketeering, or convicted of racketeering. Star Whackers. Even if they're not a thing, they are a thing. Like, if it's a standalone Star Whackers or the actual group of Star Whackers. Fuck you, Tim Pool.
Well, I mean, Hollywood is one of those things that it's a big enough industry that there are probably several organized mob-like crime groups involved in everything that they do.
Yeah. Wait till you hear about the gay mafia. Steven will clue you in when we get off here.
And them too. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's a thing that happens in any industry that gets big. I mean, look at the cult that is big tech.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just there. Like art, the art world has a insane amount of.
Well, it's the perfect cover for money laundering.
Yeah, and a bunch of other stuff. Let's see. Robin Williams. Cancer.
I remember the crime scene. Well, the scene. I don't know if it was a crime scene, but the scene photos from when they found Robin Williams got leaked. Unfortunately, I saw them and. Ugh. Are you a capo now there, Steven?
The Velvet Mafia. No, that's the gay mafia, the Velvet Mafia.
No, it's not the Velvet Mafia. The Velour Mafia, I can believe, but not Velvet.
Lewy body dementia. Robin Williams was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
That's not enough to kill yourself. I mean, look at Michael J. Fox. He's doing just fine.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people don't know this, but Robin Williams and Christopher Reeves were very close friends. They both attended Juilliard together. They were roommates. And Robin called him every day after he fell off the horse. And actually, just this week was his his birthday, which was 2 days ago, 25th. He was on Google for sure. But he called and talked with him and told him jokes and cheered him up every day. After the accident, that was yeah, I said Juilliard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steven, go find a piece of each and then rub them against your skin. Tell me which one you actually prefer. I guarantee you it will be velour.
That's such a crazy thing to happen to Superman, is to become paralyzed like that.
Nobody that's played Superman has had a good go of it, except for Henry Cavill and Henry Cavill.
Henry
right?
Cavill.
And that's just thus far. So
That's true. Ben Affleck played Batman, and that's not even close to that. He was in Geely, so you know that could have affected Ben Affleck.
I mean, the original George Reeves, who played Superman, had a fucking catastrophic end.
Which that was Ben Affleck, by the way. Wasn't it?
Ben Affleck played him in a movie, yeah.
About
him.
That's what I was going with.
That's actually a pretty good movie.
He wasn't Superman, dumbass. He was Batman. So how the fuck are you going to finagle that one out?
Well, because, I mean, Ben Affleck played George Reeves in a movie about George Reeves being Superman and having a tragic end.
Yeah.
It's a decent movie, too. I thought it was pretty good anyway.
Mulholland Drive?
No, Mulholland Drive is something completely different. And
Hollywoodland?
Hollywoodland, I believe, yeah.
That's what it was. Same fight. They're like 2 streets over from each other.
Pretty much, yeah. Mulholland Drive was weird.
That was Kim Basinger, wasn't it?
No, some other ingenue. Kim Basinger played a chick in...
The other one? That's just like Mulholland Drive?
It wasn't just like Mulholland Drive. It was more of a period piece. She played the starlet-looking hooker in... shit, what is the movie that hang on, it's on my list to give to Matt. There it is. L.A. Confidential.
L.A. Confidential, that was it. So then if that wasn't, then that was Naomi Watts then, right?
Let's see, who was in Mulholland Drive?
I'm pretty sure Billy Ray Cyrus was in Mulholland Drive. Jennifer Aniston's boyfriend, I think, was in it.
IMDb. 2001. Laura Herring and Naomi Watts.
So what's Naomi Watts?
Who else was in it?
Laura Herring was so cute.
Yeah, she's a good-looking gal. They were both good-looking gals. And both fully naked in that movie.
Yeah. She was the first Latina Miss America. Or Miss USA. Sorry. She still looked really good in Punisher. Which is more than can be said for what's his name? Justin fucking Theodora or whatever it is in Cajun. Thoreau.
I don't know. Got me.
He was in Charlie's Angels, and he did the Matthew Fox thing from Alex Cross, where he just went like super duper ridiculously shredded on like his tiny frame and picked up an accent. Right, what's that, Matthew Fox? I think it was Matthew Fox.
Oh, you know what? There was a Guy Ritchie movie that I meant to watch that I didn't watch. It's the new one, and I can't think of the name of it right now.
Yeah, he played Picasso, Matthew Fox. And he's just Matthew Fox is like 6'2", 180 pounds. He's like, you know what? I should get ripped. So he's 6'2", 137 pounds of like skeletal muscle. It's like you don't actually have to lift weights to gain muscle. I don't know who told you that, but it's just not true. Lift weights. I did not like. I like Charlie's Angel because Lucy Liu and Cameron Diaz are adorable, but the idea that the Charlie's Angels weren't going to use guns, I'm like, yeah, but everybody else is using guns, so use guns. Like, there's no master checker player in the world, you know, going up to chess masters to play them in checkers. Just fucking. You don't need to make it harder on yourself just because you're good. Wayne Gretzky still skated on 2 ice skates. Hey, Jetski. Yeah, they just did cardiovascular exercises or something. They just trimmed all their fat and put on no muscle. And they ended up being 140 pounds of ripped, which, you know, that's nice. But if you don't put on muscle to fill out your skeleton, then you're a skeleton. No one wants Crispin Glover physique. That's what they got. Oddly, Christopher Glover was in Charlie's Angels.
Crispin Glover?
Wasn't he in Charlie's Angels?
I think he was. I don't know. I just don't give a shit about B-rated movies anyhow.
That was an A-rated movie.
No, it wasn't.
Charlie's Angels? Yes, it was.
I watched it. It's a B.
It had Bill Murray and Sam Rockwell in it.
Still a B.
And I'm pretty sure Crispin Glover. Dude, it had Joey from Friends in 2000. That's pretty fucking A grade.
Yeah. Meatballs is a better movie.
First off, yes. I was so disappointed when I found out Bill Murray just wore his own clothes to the set of Meatballs. I'm like, what is the fashion choice behind this guy? He's wearing a long sleeve dress shirt and shorts. And then I'm watching it behind the scenes like 25 years later, and I'm like, well, shit, 35 years later. And I'm like, oh, okay. So he just wore his own clothes. Like, he got out of the car the day he got there. He was a day late and started acting. Like, he didn't even dress it. Like, he just wore his own clothes because he didn't have a costume designer in time. And then by Meatballs 3, it's just fucking porn. Like, you know who we need to take over for Bill Murray? Corey Feldman. I'm going to go watch Meatballs 3 now.
Why? They should have just stopped at 1.
No, the fucking Alien in 2 was great. That was a thing that needed to happen. Then to come up against, like, another, like, 2 rival summer camps, like, that's a thing. They're trying to outbuy our summer camp to make a second summer camp right next to their first summer camp. No one does that. It doesn't even make sense. Corey Feldman isn't dead. They're trying to kill Corey Feldman.
True.
But he is not dead.
He keeps threatening to name names, and then he never does.
He did, and it got fucking bought. They bought the servers and shut it down.
Really? That
Yeah.
I did not hear.
I can't find it anymore, but it was Jack Probiotic said that they were going through a change of management, and he never said anything else about it. I'm like, I want to know about this. I'm like, just say the names. But now, days later, Jagged Little Pill came out for Lance Morissette, and she's changing her tune. I'm like, you can't change your tune. You were being fucked at 15. There's no changing your tune. Unless you tied them down and had sex with them, you can't change your tune. Steven's right. Corey Haim is dead. The other Corey. Who arguably had equally bad shit happen to him.
Probably worse shit. He was a better looking kid. Haim would have been leading man material if he wasn't so fucked up by the nonsense they had to deal with as a child actor.
I don't know how to judge that.
Just look at the movies and how the girls react to him. You put the two Coreys together, the girls go gaga over Haim and not so much over Feldman. Feldman might have been the better actor, which isn't saying much. Neither one of them were very good to begin with, but Haim was the heartthrob one. He had the better boy next door sort of looks.
I like his hair. I like his hair more.
The girls went gaga over Haim, not so much over Feldman.
I don't remember any Corey Haim Feldman movies. I can't think of it.
Lost Boys?
Besides that one.
There were a couple.
I mean, yeah, there was supposed like 3 or 5.
License to Drive? License to Drive was one, wasn't it?
License to Kill. Who did fuck Richard Grieco? God damn, that man was gorgeous. Was that License to Kill?
I have no idea.
I think it was License to Kill. He was not a great actor, but License to Kill, he was I'm gonna watch that movie pretty soon, if that's even the right movie.
Probably because they're like 15 years older than you, Steven.
Oh, never mind. That's a James Bond movie. Is there another one? All right, Richard Grieco. I'll just look him up. He can't have too many movies. Like, let's hire him to freaking replace Johnny Depp.
Kind of worked for a minute.
Why is the second picture of Richard Grieco Danny Glover? If looks could kill? No, that's not it. Night at the Roxbury? No. Almighty Thor? Good God, man.
Just here.
I think it's if looks could kill.
Lucas.
Apparently, he was in 22 Jump Street.
License to Drive. Lost Boys. My Truth. The Rape.
Wait, he was in License to Drive?
Yeah, they were both in License to Drive.
Who?
The Coreys.
No, I'm fucking.
Dream a Little Dream. I'm talking Corey movies here.
If looks could kill is what it is.
They did a
Gabrielle
ton of
Anwar
them.
looked freaking weird in that.
Dream a Little
What,
Dream.
there's more than
1
5?
and 2. Oh, yeah. Dream a Little Dream 1 and 2. Dream Machine. Oh, What a Night. Firstborn. Anything But Love. Murphy's Romance. For some reason, they're both credited for Crank. I don't know that that's true, because I'm pretty sure Haim was dead at that point. Fast Getaway. Secret Admirer. Prayer of the Roller Boys. Blown Away. Silver Bullet. Lost Boys. Dream a Little Dream. License to Drive, and Lucas.
I think like half those are other movies that had that movie playing in it. I think Chester Bennington was in Crank.
Well, when did Crank come out? 2009?
2006?
Where's Crank? 2009, according to this, and Corey Haim didn't die till 2010, so yeah, I guess that's possible.
No. There's no way.
Demolition High. Busted. Fast Getaway. Fast Getaway 2. Demolition University. Fever Lake.
You might be thinking of a different Crank.
It says Crank High Voltage.
That's 2.
Okay. Crank 3, they get credits for that. I don't know how that's possible, but whatever. Apparently they
Corey
were...
Haim played Randy with Clifton Collins Jr. Clifton Collins Jr. changed his name, and we all appreciate that. Because I don't know why he changed it to Clifton Collins Jr. though. Back when he first started acting, when I started watching him in seriously shit movies like 187 and Dirty and all those other bullshits, Road Dogs, he was Clifton Gonzalez. Also, David Carradine was in that. That's some weird shit, man. And Chester Bennington. But I don't remember those Corey movies. I'm gonna have to check those out.
Yeah, Lost Boys is definitely the most famous one.
Lost Boys has the most famous saxophone player I know of.
That's absolutely true. And then License to Drive is probably their second most famous one.
I do not remember License to Drive.
It was one of those movies that you had to be the right age at the right time to be clued into, because I'm only 4 years younger.
I was 8.
As I say, I'm 4 years younger than the Coreys, and they were hitting as I was getting into my early teens, so...
Well, I had James Avery in it. Heather Graham.
Heather Graham is like Cameron Diaz. They can make her look really, really good, but she's not really good looking.
I would have stolen a car for a date with Mercedes Lane as well. Judging from these pictures. That's so funny to see Grandmama looking not Grandmama-ish. Like Carol Kane is 69 years old. But 30 years ago, she could have been the older sister. Carol Kane was Billy Crystal's wife in Princess Bride. And
the chick from Taxi.
Mama and huh?
The chick from Taxi?
Billy Crystal. The mage.
Right. But isn't the gal who played his wife, wasn't she on Taxi?
You're thinking of Danny DeVito's wife?
No. I'm thinking of the woman who played Billy Crystal's wife in Princess Bride. I'm pretty sure she was on Taxi. As Lotka's wife. She was Lotka's wife on Taxi.
It's before my time.
It's technically before mine too, but I'm still aware of it.
True, Grandpa. Well, she probably got the role from Billy Crystal, so she is a comedian. But let's check out her bona fides. Scroll back in the way back machine. Jesus Christ. Goes Cardinal Knowledge. She was definitely working in the 70s. Anne Hall, Valentino, World's Greatest Lover, Mufu Cage, Visions, Muppets, Movie, La Sabrina. When did Taxi end?
Maybe early 80s?
Laverne and Shirley. Taxi, 27 episodes. Simca de Hablitz.
Yep. I knew it. She played Lotka's wife.
Yeah. That was Grandma on Adam's Family Values.
Yes.
I forget who she was, but she was also in Transylvania 65000. And she beat the shit out of Bill Murray in Scrooged. I don't remember which ghost she was. She was the hairdresser in Joe versus the Volcano.
God, I love that movie. That movie doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah, well, how many movies do you have where you can build a raft out of all your luggage?
And then Meg
Freaky
Ryan,
Friday,
Meg
Theodore
Ryan
Rex.
played literally every other female in that movie.
My Blue Heaven. Let's look up the. Let's see if she. Scroll back to it. Joe versus Volcano. Valerie, and that's funny. For some reason, it's showing the cheers for the Princess Bride. That's kind of weird. As far as Dee Dee, Angelica, and Patricia were Meg Ryan. Abe Vigoda and Dan Hadid. All right. So 3 for Meg Ryan. Amanda Plummer. Apparently Nathan Lane played an Advancement. Carol Kane was the hairdresser, so that's 2. And Lala Slotman was 3. So literally, she was every other woman.
Mm-hmm.
Lloyd Bridges, Robert Stack, Abe Vigoda. Good lord.
Yeah. The movie just didn't get its due.
It really didn't. Is this Amanda Plummer? Amanda Plummer from... No. Okay. It's the other Amanda Plummer. Am I thinking of Amanda Plummer?
Oh, dear. Terrible with names.
Well, I thought Dresden Dolls. The girl from Dresden Dolls was Amanda Plummer. That was Amanda Palmer. That was close.
Technically true.
It's closer than you were. You didn't even know her name.
Yeah, well, I'm bad with names.
She's actually a cute girl. Even though she wore makeup the whole time. Do you have an action figure or a doll, Steven? And did you make it yourself? Does his clothes come off? All right. Anything else you want to talk about? Or we can go into off hours after this?
We can go into off hours. I don't really
Thank
have anything.
fucking God.
It was a slow news day. What do you want? There's nothing to really talk about, so... Nobody wanted to talk about my theory about fucking timeline purity, so fuck it.
Well, I'm timeline. That's interesting. Woo.
Well, okay, fair enough.
I mean, it is, and it's actually something that's going around. But you know, there's just like things. I guess Mike Hawk couldn't be bothered to stick around. I just got the downvote, and then he left.
Well, at least he showed up.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Hey, girl, baby. Here we go. Let's run real quick through. Marvel cancels the Guardian of the Galaxy series. I don't know what that means. Will Smith says he intentionally avoided making films about slavery because he didn't want to show black people. I'm pretty sure that's not the end of that quote.
Probably not. Be unfortunate if it was. Will Smith has aneurysm mid-quote.
Well, no, it's just that's all I could fit. Marvel's new Spider-Man finally speaks out after replacing Tom Holland. What?
Why? Stop. Oh, Mike's here.
Did they replace him?
I don't.
Oh, in What If? Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, not a good show. What If?
Especially the they didn't follow. How many people actually? I thought they were all cartoons.
They are. But they got most of the original Marvel actors to do voices. They had to replace Robert Downey because his contract was over and he said, you can't pay me enough. So they got somebody to replace him, and I think...
To be fair, they didn't try.
Well, yeah, do you want to pay Robert Downey prices for a bad cartoon? No. Everybody else was contractually obligated, so they had to. Although they did get... who was the guy who played T'Challa? Chadwick Boseman?
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, they did get him to record his lines prior to him dying, which is kind of cool. But
I haven't seen it yet, so I didn't get the disappointment of the Doctor Strange one that Tim Pool covered, which, by the way, was much better than whatever they did do because it sounded awesome.
yeah, no, Tim was right. It would have been better if they had done it that way. But the problem with the What If ones is that they have to be fast paced to get in the entire story that they want to do per episode. So they're really fast paced, like ridiculously fast paced.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But yeah, they're not. They're about 50-50. There's been a couple of them that are okay. Pretty good, maybe. But more than half of them, or at least half of them, suck. So.
My brother was trying to explain one where Captain Rogers, Cap Rogers was Iron Man.
Kind of. I mean, he was. So what happened is Agent Carter became the super soldier. And because Steve Rogers is too integral a character and his superhero has nothing to do with him being actually like a super soldier, he's like an awesome character in himself, which is what makes him awesome and why everybody follows him is because he's a natural leader despite him being, a manlet.
Yeah.
Because he's a manlet, they basic Stark, the older Stark, Howard Stark, makes basically an Iron Man suit for Captain Rogers. Well, he wasn't a captain. It was just Rogers at that point, Steve Rogers.
Oh, good.
So kind of.
It was just something I was sent, and I'm like, he wouldn't have been Captain Rogers, fuckface, if he didn't get passed by Dr. German.
Well, no, he did get passed by Dr. German. They went through the entire storyline up until Steve Rogers gets into the can to get the super soldier injection, and then something changes in the timeline and everything switches, and Steve's not the one who's in the can. It ends up being Agent Carter in the can instead.
So is she Captain America? Or?
Kinda, but she's not American, so she's like Captain Britannia or some shit. So instead of instead of the shield having a star and red and white stripes, it's literally a Union Jack. Same outcome. It's the Allies. Who cares? I mean, it's neither here nor there. But they couldn't not have Steve Rogers be awesome. Is basically the point of that. Is that, that's when I happen to agree with. I'm like, you don't need Steve Rogers to be a super soldier to be Captain America because that's not his superpower. His superpower is being an awesome leader and never quitting, which is what he does, and that's just the nature of his character. So he doesn't necessarily have to be a super soldier for that to work, and it works fine. That one was actually pretty good.
I'll check it out. All right. Let's get over to off hours.
Okay. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Well, I believe in good vibrations is what creates a beautiful nation. All you need is the will